Hi, everyone. My name is Amanda Elert, and I am guest hosting for Jim Connell at the Craftsman Cafe. I'm here today with Shelly Malizola, the owner of Allure Designs in downtown Libertyville. Thanks so much for coming and talking to me, Shelly. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, how are you doing amongst all of this craziness that's going on in the world right now?
So I would say lots of ups and downs. And like everybody else, it's, very stressful. Day to day, you just don't know, what's going to be said on the news, what's going to change. Um, and especially for small business owners, the uncertainty, I think, is what's so scary. But I do consider myself a very optimistic person, and I always look at change as opportunities. And so from the get-go, when I knew I had to close the business down, I took a couple days just to kind of grieve everything and take it all in. And then I just started writing a new business plan and thinking, creatively, how I could pivot and adapt to a new world. And so when everything happened, I closed the business voluntarily, I think about 5 days before non-essential businesses were asked to close.
This is
So
around March, something around there.
yeah, I think our last day open was March 18th.
Okay.
And I closed it down, and I told my staff I'm going to pay everybody 2 weeks and go ahead and pay them for their PTO plus another week. And I just took, a few days to just take it all in, and I just started writing a new plan. And I told the staff to hang tight. So right away we had a Zoom meeting, I think, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days in at the most. And I just started laying it out, all of my ideas. And I asked everybody, how they felt about continuing to work, if I could put together a remote work plan for them.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was so engaged and interested. I have so I have an employee-based salon. And in the salon industry, there's different business models and different business models that work. So you've got your booth rental salons, which are independent contractors. Those make up also salon suites. And then you have your employee-based salons. And they pay commission, or like my business model is hourly salaries. So we're different in that most of my employees are full-time for the service providers.
Mm-hmm.
And then my front desk admin is mostly full-time, and they have hourly salaries plus all kinds of benefits, which is somewhat unheard of. It's becoming more common in the salon industry, but they have health insurance and dental and vision and life and disability. They have 401k. They have paid education. They've got some fun travel education. I just recently had a stylist go to London for Fashion Week.
Wow.
Another stylist went to New York Haircutting Academy last year. A couple of us went to New Orleans for a business academy. So it's different. And the girls that work for me, which right now it is all women, they're self-supporting. And I've watched some of them buy their own homes, and they have their own, apartments and condos. And, these aren't part-time jobs for them. And so I just, when all of this happened, I know some companies had to put their workforce, they had to furlough them. Because I am a saver, I had some more opportunities to go ahead and keep them on. And I knew I would be living out of our savings, but with the new plan that I created, we're bringing in revenue.
So can you kind of walk us through how that works? And you
Yeah,
mentioned virtually as well, which is really
Yeah,
interesting for a salon and boutique to do work virtually, I guess.
I know. So I created a shared document and projects for everybody, and for the full-time employees and the part-time employees.
Okay.
We do have some high school girls and people super part-time, and for those employees, the associates, there wasn't work right now. So
Mhm.
shared document, and I created projects. So I've got a social media team, which they were already doing social media for me. I've got educators. I've got girls that are writing blogs, girls that are creating virtual classes, um, and and then I've got inventory, people who can still go into the salon. I can have just a couple people cycle in to box up and ship out inventory. And I've got a creative team. We put together ideas, and we've launched, like, I think we're up to like 12 new DIY kits. So every week we're
That's awesome.
launching new things.
Yeah.
And then I have a team that also created a web store for us. So that was on my year-long project, and I think we got that store up within 2 weeks. So
Good things are coming out of the pandemic.
really
You have
good
to
things.
take that
And
optimistic
yeah,
look at it.
yeah.
So
One of our
that's
core values is education, and so in the last 5 weeks, we learned all the Sassoon core haircuts. We're now learning a new cutting system that I had created last year with my lead educator, Kristen. We're going through a new updo series, men's cutting. So about probably 8 to 15 hours a week, we're working on education. So when we closed, I had all of them take mannequin heads home and stands. So 3 days a
keep your
week.
skills sharp,
Yeah, we do virtual
right?
classes. We just
Yeah,
had one this morning.
that's
And
awesome. That's a great that you've been able to find creative ways to not only use your time effectively to create new methods and, like you were saying, and all this education for your employees. That's a way to put this, idle time to good use, right? And to still generate revenue. And I'm sure your employees really appreciate all that effort you've put in, to securing their jobs.
they do, and they're such an amazing team. And it just to see them, not behind the chair or in our spa room, all this creativity come out of them. And
Mhm.
every day I'm giggling and I'm laughing because they're sending me the videos that they're making and editing and putting music in, and everything is tied to selling products, or
Right.
our DIYs. And it's just unbelievable to see them work together as a team outside of the salon. And when all of this happened, I said to them, you can file for unemployment, no judgment. If because some families have to do that because their kids are at home now
Mhm.
and they don't have other options. I do have a younger team, and I've got some moms that have teenagers who have, I think, some more options to be able to work. But I said, you could file for unemployment. There's the $600 stimulus. Some of the newer service providers who weren't as high on the pay scale, you could be making a little bit more. Um, we claim all their tips, which ended up helping them. So like when it comes to unemployment, they're going to get more because we claim all those tips as income. But I think, overall, I said, I'm going to reduce your hours by about 20%, which is going to reduce some pay, and they're not getting the
Mhm.
extra tip income. They didn't care. They said, we want to work, which I think that speaks volumes, for who my team is.
Right.
And yeah,
That's really great to hear. I'm glad you guys are able to band together as a small business of Libertyville and, provide for each other and work together through this. Because I think that's the only way through it, right? Is to stick with the people you care about and support each other as best you can. So, speaking of supporting each other, the Libertyville community wants to know what ways can they support you? Do you have any deals going on that they can take advantage of to help you guys and go through this pandemic?
Yeah, I do want to express I've always loved Libertyville. I've worked my entire career in Libertyville for 30 years, and I've owned a salon here now 24 years. And it's an incredible community, the support that we've seen and the phone calls that we've taken and the surrounding communities as well, because we don't only service Libertyville.
Mhm.
So they have been supporting us. And, I personally, I'm not pushing gift cards for my business model. We'll sell them. And I think they've been wonderful for other businesses as well.
Mhm.
What's really helping us is selling our DIY kits. And if people need, their shampoos, conditioners, styling products, getting them from us versus online. And we do ship. And for people who don't want to leave, they can go right on our web store, or they can email us if something's not on there. And we've got a drop bin in the front, so we'll run things out. We'll put it in the bin so there's no contact, or we'll ship. So
Yeah, that's
we've
great.
got
So the
options. So
products
that's
and your
the best app.
DIY
Mhm.
packages. Can you kind of talk a little bit about what those are? Is it
Yes.
color only kind of thing for DIY kits?
No. So the first thing we launched was color, and it's very controversial in our industry
Hmm.
because we are licensed professionals and it's professional color. So it's very different than, box hair color, or color that you can buy online.
Okay.
And the formulations are different, just the whole process. And I found a way to still put a professional, touch to the service. And I found a way to do it and feel comfortable. So the first thing I did is legally, I've got a legal team. I've got a waiver. I made sure, I'm in alignment with the professional regulations
Hmm.
as to who mixes it, what's mixed, all of those things. So for our color kits, we can't do highlights, or anything with, like high lift blondes. We can't. But for your average person who gets root touch-ups, we're able to
Hmm.
do that. So they have to have a consultation and with a licensed stylist. And then we make their kit up. It's got everything in the kit, the gloves, the
Okay.
color, the tint brush, the bowl, everything. And then we give them a step-by-step guide in their little DIY box. And in addition, when they pay for the kit, they get invited into a private classroom where we have a video as well. So some people are visual.
Okay.
They love
Yeah.
the video. They get the step-by-step. And then in addition, when they're coloring their hair, we have a virtual stylist that they can, we send a Zoom if they're having questions, or they
Mhm.
can set it up ahead of time. We send them a Zoom link, boom, there's their technician there to help
Oh,
them.
that's very helpful. Better than watching YouTube videos, right? Because it's specialized. If you have a question, your stylist is right there to help you still.
It's the closest we can get to them being in the salon and us doing the service.
Yeah.
And, I liken it right now, it's like we're at war with this virus. And, I know a lot of people dig into how it was before. And it's like, this is a new day. And had somebody asked me to do a DIY kit a month ago, I would have said, you're crazy.
Mhm.
And, but we felt that it was the right thing to do for our clientele. And we are taking new clients, but they do have to have a consultation. And if we don't feel they're the right fit for it, we're very comfortable saying, that it's not a good fit for them. So
Mhm.
that's been huge, those color
Yeah.
kits. And then our facial kits have been huge. So
Oh.
we put together a facial in a box. And again, you get a virtual consult with an esthetician to analyze your skin without being there with you. But there's so
Mhm.
much they can do by asking you the right questions and seeing you. And then they customize a box. We also have boxes that people are giving away as gifts, and they're your basic,
Oh, that's a great idea.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to get that as a gift.
I will
Hint,
send
hint,
you
wink,
one.
wink.
I will
There
send
you go.
you
I
one.
can buy one too. I mean, that sounds awesome. So, and then is it the same process where you get access to like a video that shows you how to
Yeah.
put it together kind of thing? And
Yes.
awesome.
Yep. And the videos for those, we're still working on them. So we have little promo videos to show you how to do it.
Okay.
But you get the consult, and then they can, they're happy to do a consult while you're doing it. We've had a lot of like mother-daughters do them together. So for Mother's Day, we have a mommy and me kit.
Oh, that's a great idea.
We've got kits for teenagers. We're launching next week a Zen and a box kit, which I think is super cool. And then we have a total chill kit. We've got a men's kit.
This sounds great for,
So,
I mean, any type of isolation, quarantine
yeah,
activities. I mean, what else are you going to do? But you got to practice some self-care, and what a better way to do it than a face mask.
yeah. And I can tell you,
Awesome.
the girls sent me home. They sent me a kit and said that we want you to do this and do a video. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do a video, but I'll take one for the team and do it. And I get facials on a regular basis. And so I know how important that is, but I can tell you that for a whole week after I did it, I didn't feel the need to wear any face makeup. And so like, they're really, really, you're getting a great little kit there. So
How long does it take to do the actual facial? Out of curiosity.
well, all of them are different, but the one that they sent me
Okay.
home with, it's got marshmallow in it, and
Ooh.
you cleanse and you do a couple steps, and then you leave it on for about
Mhm.
an hour if you can. And it doesn't look like you're really wearing anything.
Okay.
But it's on for an hour, and you kind of feel your skin tightening, and then you rinse it off, and then do, I think, one more final step. So some of them you
Okay.
can do in 15 minutes. It just depends on what your needs are.
Yeah.
I'm getting close to 50, so I need a little bit more exfoliation and
You can't
moisture.
tell.
Yeah.
You can't tell at all. That's awesome. That sounds like such a great way to spend your time. I mean, I want to treat myself and get one of those now.
Yes, I'm sending you one. I'm
Oh,
going to send you
thank
one.
you. So besides these DIY kits you're talking about, have you learned or picked up any new beauty tips during quarantine that you think would be worth sharing with the people watching this video?
You know, our whole world has changed, realizing how much we can do virtually. And, and that just that power of connection. Because even just seeing you, like when you're home all day and there's no interactions, and then all this face appears, you're like, oh, there's a human I can
Right,
talk to.
right.
So that's where we're getting really creative and having fun with connecting people with people, virtually. We have a braids and brews class coming out this Friday. And, I think before quarantine, I think so many people would have, been like, I don't have time to learn how to do a Dutch braid or a fishtail. But
Mhm.
now all of a sudden it's like we're cooped up,
Right.
and we're like, okay, I'll give this a shot,
Mhm.
So that's something that we're doing, and we're having fun with it. That this Friday is our first one. It's kind of geared towards parents learning how to braid the kids' hair. We think it'd be really cool if we could get dads to learn how to braid their
That would
little
be
girls'
fun.
hair. And we tied it to beer, and we're promoting, we just have done shout outs on our social media to Mickey Finn's, O'Toole's, the craft beer store, and Conscious Cup, because it's in line with the brews.
Mhm.
It could be coffee brew. So if anybody's out there and they're looking for something to do this Friday night, just email us and we send you the Zoom link. It's $30. I can tell you though, my girls put a lot into it. And so I think you're going to leave, hopefully with some skills you never knew you had.
I'm telling you, braiding is one of those things. It is so versatile. If you're just hanging out all day, but you want to look presentable and have your hair out of your face, braids are the easiest way to go. And they're easy on your hair. I'm a
Yeah.
big fan. I've been braiding my hair for a long time.
Yeah.
Sports, any
Yeah.
type of thing like that where I'm moving around.
Right.
Um, And if you can have a glass of beer with it, that's even more relaxing. And
Yes.
that
Yeah.
sounds awesome. We'll definitely have to keep our eyes out for that one.
Yeah.
Um, so switching gears here a little bit, as we talked about before this interview was getting recorded, you are the co-chair of the Libertyville Economic Vitality Committee. And given the current situation, that seems like a very timely committee, that it sounds like you guys have a lot on your hands right now with that group. Can you kind of talk about what work you guys are doing on the committee, and what are your biggest priorities right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I took on this role a little over a year ago, and you know, I what Main Street has done for our community, you know, it's unbelievable. All of the events and promotions and the things that they do. And so what drew me to saying yes to this role, because it is a lot of volunteer hours,
Mhm.
is all of the eventing that Main Street does. I'm able to track each event and look at how profitable it's made my business. And so I think it is just so important. And when this happened, with all the businesses shutting down, the volunteers decided to meet. We're meeting weekly, and we're in high gear, you know, doing whatever we can to just continue what we're doing to promote our community.
Mhm.
So one of the ideas that we came up with right out of the gate was virtual First Friday. And because First Fridays are huge for the
Right.
restaurants, for the retailers. And so we kind of did like a soft launch and did a couple Fridays. And then we pulled back, and now May 1st is going to be a big First Friday. And so we started posting about it to the business owners, and it's going to be real simple for them. They can have a 5-minute Facebook Live on Friday, and we'll have these Facebook Lives running all day.
Is this on the
And
Libertyville like Main Street board page?
yeah,
Okay.
yes. And
Awesome.
we have an economic vitality page, which is
Okay.
for business owners that are members. And
Mhm.
so there's a link on there. They can sign up for what time they want. They'll get 5-minute. They'll do their own Facebook Live talking about what their virtual specials are, and then those recordings can be played. You know, the community can play them at any
Mhm.
time if they miss yours. And so I'm really excited about this. The feedback we got was even the two that they launched went really well for businesses. I personally didn't take part in those. I didn't have my web store up, and I didn't feel ready.
Mhm.
So that's really exciting. And,
Yeah.
you know, we're actively working on every event that we normally have, how we can do it different,
Right.
because they're so important. And Heather from Heather's Gym is my co-chair, and Brian Grano, he represents the restaurants with us. And, you know, we're working on it. And I know we're putting in volunteer hours helping also business owners behind the scenes right now that need help. And I don't want to see any empty storefronts, you
Agreed.
know, when we come
Yeah.
out of this. So whatever I can do to help, you know, that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah. And that's a really noble goal, and I really commend you for that, for
Thank
putting in
you.
all those extra hours, and not just willing to let virtual Fridays be gone. You're willing to evolve and make it adapt, and change with the times, which I think is probably the best way to move through it, and not let it take anybody out. And I'm sure the Libertyville community will stand by you and saying thank you for your time, and supporting local businesses, not just your own, but everybody in the community, because we all really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I also do consulting and coaching for businesses, and it's amazing because when I'm working with another business, helping them,
Mhm.
I'm getting so much in return. And, you know, business owners, especially small business owners, they're such creative thinkers. And so it's a beautiful cycle to work together. You go to help them, and then they're helping you, and it's like, whoa, you know?
Yeah.
So, yes.
That's awesome. And even when we can't be face to face, it's great that people are still able to collaborate
Yes.
and help each other out, which I think is, again, very important
Yeah.
nowadays. Is there anything else you'd like the Libertyville community to know about Allure Designs, or about your work on the Economic Vitality Committee, or, Virtual First Fridays?
I just, I want everybody to know how much, we just, all the business owners, I really appreciate our community. And, we've got the new hashtags, Libby Strong and all of them. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. You already are helping us. If there's anything you need, gift wise, please check out our website out for Mother's Day. I'm going to have a gift page up there in another week. So we're going to make it super simple. And just thank you for supporting, all of the businesses. And I think when we come out of this, we've got to do some sort of big grand reopening of our community.
That sounds
And
awesome.
yeah, so I'm looking forward to that, and just trying to think positive, and just like I said in the beginning, we've got to all just pivot, and it's a new world. We're going to get through it, and it's one day at a time. And thank you also. I really appreciate this project you guys took on.
Oh, of course. This is my first interview I've conducted, but it's been so great to hear from your point of view as a business owner, and just how this community can help each other out. I think is the best thing we can do right now.
Yeah.
I'm glad we can do it from our separate locations, and it still has the same impact, which is super cool.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time, Shelly. I really appreciate getting to hear your story, and I hope the community will rally behind you and your words, and we can all move forward together. So thank you again.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.